Today I'm sharing a recipe that's simple yet extraordinary. Bacon pancakes that are sure to impress wherever you are in the world. Let's get started. Welcome to Gary's Urban Larder. I'm Gary Rice, and today I'm going to make my bacon pancakes for you. So we have some ingredients here. I've got bacon, which I'm actually going to get started. And we've got some flour, and we're going to make our pancake batter, to which we're going to add salt, sugar, bicarbonate of soda, baking soda, and cream of tartar, and 1 egg, and some buttermilk. And when we finish our pancakes, we've got some butter that will top each one, and some maple syrup, because maple syrup comes out of Canada, and Canada is a fantastic industry in farming maple trees and tapping them for the maple syrup. So we want to render out the fat in our bacon. But what we're going to do is we're going to reserve that fat because we'll add that to our batter, which needs a little oil, but it also adds some extra flavor. So I'll just get these going. And one thing about cooking bacon, when you start out, you want to bring that up to temperature, and then you want to reduce that almost by half. So that will render the fat out slowly and crisp your bacon. So if you do it too quickly, you'll burn the bacon. So while our bacon is on the go, let's get started with our batter. So I've just got some plain all-purpose flour here, and I'm going to add salt, sugar. I know it seems like a lot of sugar, but you want them to have a little sweetness because you're going to add in the savory bacon. Bicarbonate of soda, and last but certainly not least, our cream of tartar. So if you ever want to make baking powder, which is different than baking soda, you should combine roughly half and half bicarbonate of soda, baking soda, and cream of tartar. So for example, if you use a teaspoon level of bicarbonate of soda, you want to add a rounded teaspoon of your cream of tartar, and that creates baking powder. So now that we have that, I'm going to create a little well. I'm just going to put the egg in the middle, and with my whisk, I'm just going to puncture that egg and just slowly start to incorporate some of the flour. Not too much, because we want to add our fat. So I'll just check on our bacon. It's starting to brown nicely, and soon we can crumble that or cut it up and add it into the batter. We've rendered the fat from our bacon, so you can see we've got quite a bit of fat that's come out. I'm just going to move this to a cutting board, and what I'm going to do is just add the drippings literally from the griddle into my batter. If there isn't enough, you can add a little vegetable oil. And I'm just going to give this a quick chop through. Small pieces. There we go. I'm going to add that to our batter, and I'm going to add some buttermilk. Now I do have some extra bacon just in case, which I prepared earlier. But I'm going to add the buttermilk bit by bit, just to wet the ingredients, and then more to loosen the ingredients. So we're going to get a fairly thick batter, and we're just mixing it enough to combine the ingredients. We don't want to overmix because we want our pancakes to come out fluffy. So now that I have that fairly well combined, I'm going to switch to the spatula. And just checking that consistency, I'm going to add the rest of our buttermilk. And there we have our pancake batter. So I'm just going to get our griddle ready. Okay, I've added a little extra oil, and I'm just going to take my pastry brush and just distribute that around the pan. We're ready to start making our pancakes. So I'm taking about a half a ladle full of my batter, and I'm going to put that right in the middle of our griddle. And that will spread out on its own. What we're looking for is for this to start to bubble on top and to really sort of get solid around the edges. So it'll look like it's drying out a bit around the edge. You can start to see the bubbles forming. That's what we're looking for. And as they break, they close up. When they break and they start to hold, especially around the edge, we know it's time to turn them. So we're just going to give that a flip. And we have our first pancake on go. Pancake is really starting to puff up, and there is a little wetness still on the edge. So you can turn it twice. You can see that's still a little yellow. We want it a little browner than that. So we give it a little more heat. I don't want to burn my pancakes, but I don't want raw dough in the middle of this either. So I think that's pretty good. So that goes there. We get another half ladle of our batter. And again, into the center. And we'll let that spread out while we add some butter to our first pancake. And again, we're waiting for the top to start to bubble. And as soon as those bubbles break and hold, we know it's time to turn. Well, it's a little browner than I like, but it'll be all right. So we'll let that second side set, and then we'll add that to our stack. We're just going to do a 2-stack. You can do 3 if you're really hungry, but I think 2 generally is enough because these are quite thick and they're quite rich as well. If you don't want to add maple syrup onto the pancake, which we have here, you can add some fruit that you may have, banana, strawberries, any other sort of berries, or just powdered sugar. And I know some people find the maple syrup a bit too much, but I love Canadian maple syrup, and that is the perfect color. So we'll put the 2 brown side down, a little cheat. And we'll add another knob of butter. And we'll drizzle over some of our maple syrup. So there you have it. There's our pancakes, American style, with bacon and Canadian maple syrup. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. If you have, please leave a like, thumbs up. In the description box, you'll find a link to the recipe. So be sure to check there and leave us a comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss a single one. Thank you for joining Gary's Urban Larder. See you next time.